My name is Juan Ferrer. I'm an AR for Physical. I have the Eastern North Carolina market. Territory is known as Physical Greenville, but my showcase location is actually in Wilson, North Carolina. We're looking at building out at least 6 clinics in this territory. I first discovered Physical many years ago when I was living in Florida. And for me, Physical brought to life one of the core attributes of what I've been doing for my life's work, right? Which is working in pharmaceuticals, taking care of patients, putting that patient first, right? So that just closed the deal for me, and I became a Physical franchisee. So as somebody totally new to the franchise development space, right, and looking at my first franchise, that real estate piece was critical. And having a Physical team, including Anna, help you through that process really makes a difference. Having somebody in that real estate partner that can help you negotiate that lease, that can help you really in the build-out process afterwards. How are you dealing with the architects? How are you dealing with the permits? All of that. You have to trust somebody when you're not in that space, and the Physical headquarters team definitely helped tremendously in that. That is a great partnership to have. I would wholly recommend Marketing Suite to other franchisees. First month we had 220 plus scheduled visits, and it's in part around multiple critical success factors that we set out, but it's also part of having that coherent story to tell. Marketing Suite brings in a whole bunch of tools, whether it's print, digital, community events that you can actually implement based on your market needs and your market knowledge. The Marketing Suite for me was a no-brainer because it gave me a clear roadmap of where I wanted to go. It allowed me to take time to be running the business rather than being in the business of marketing. One of the reasons I got into Physical was that it is a differentiated company, right? We're not just doing traditional PT. In the first 3 months, all we saw were balanced patients. And we really focused to make a name in our geography around balance, owning that concept, owning vestibular. As we've matured over the last 8 months, right, we've added additional areas that we're focusing on. Pelvic is another great area to go into. A lot of the clinics don't do pelvic well or not at all. So having a team that can actually guide you and coach you, at least to do a pelvic level 1 until we get a pelvic specific physician, has been tremendous. Physical, not in just in name, but in the support that it provides through the level 1, level 2, level 3 coursework that my therapists can tap into, has been a huge success. And today I would say about 10% of our patients come from pelvic. A good 50–60% still come from balance, so that is critical, and then the rest come from the traditional, more ortho manual side of physical therapy. One of the things that I have to highlight has been the support from the franchise administrative consultant and her team, Ginger Kimmel. We had some troubles recruiting the right CCS, and we rotated a lot of CCS before we landed the correct one, so I had to do a lot of that work myself. I knew nothing about benefit verification, I knew nothing about billing, or even how to do patient intake. And they were always there to help stabilize the franchise, stabilize the operation, which was tremendous. And then that has grown, and that support has been there through that rough patch. So definitely that goes to talk about Physical's commitment to a franchisee's success, even though we had some rough patches, and we are still, an amazingly performing franchise at this stage. Starting your own franchise, starting your own business in general, is a labor of love. If I could go back to myself about 1.5 years ago when I started with Physical, I would advise myself to be patient, not to rush, and to not question whether you took the right decision. If you want to be successful in this sort of business, you have to understand that it takes time, it takes patience, it gets nerve-wracking at times, but it is very fulfilling once you see that first patient come in, that first patient graduate from a rollator to a cane to walking on their own. If you do things right and you don't overinvest, but you do things gradually and focus, you can turn this into a very successful model for yourself.